Hey folks, subscribe to Matt, link will be in the sidebar. I just wanted to add a few things, and if you haven't seen the video I'm talking about, maybe watch Matt's video first. Okay, it's about Other4815, and I want to also very quickly say that I capped the audio and some interesting snips, some interesting pictures of an average skeptic who's also a decent guy. I wouldn't hesitate telling you guys to subscribe to him and follow what he does as well. So maybe look him up. But he was having a discussion with Other4815, and that was the first time I had heard of Other4815. And could you pick a more cumbersome, uncreative, shitty name? Okay, so so like I said, watch Matt's video if you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, but it's pretty much Christian virgin hubris we're talking about. Okay, kids upset about mannequins. Like I said, watch the other video if you want. Doesn't all the context, but I'm sure this will be pretty easy to understand if you don't watch it first. Okay, he's upset about mannequins being used to display clothes. So it's like, how sexually repressed and and sheltered do you have to be to, and then again, I don't even necessarily always assume, I see the human form and, oh, it's immediately a sexual situation. These are nuanced, complex psychological things we're talking about here. So, it's first of all, not every mannequin is going to trigger a bunch of sexual feelings in someone. Secondly, how repressed and how full of shame over the idea of sex do you have to be like, oh my god, a fucking mannequin, and that's what that piece looks like draped across a human body. Holy fuck. If you really get into reading about Christianity and some of the critical ideas about it, Paul, who was a sexually frustrated raving hysteric, look into that, he lumped so much sexual shame into that religion, it's insane. And he's also one of their big heroes, because after Jesus died, his followers were just like, these people that are going to follow him to the ends of the earth were like, oh, hey, Jesus is dead. Oh, okay. And they calmly went back to their lives, and no one wrote about him for years. Yeah. This is all the makings of a good story, but Lord of the Rings is more interesting, and I'm not even a big fan of that movie. Okay, like I said, trying to be quick. No sex before marriage. Excuse me, virgin, you're not actually capable of saying that. You can say, it's immoral, but I mean, as Matt pointed out, it's immoral to what? Your God and your book? Who fucking cares? Seriously? And many modern Christians don't care either, and good for them. I have Christian friends and everything, and of course they've had sex before marriage, and now they're gonna burn in hell. Even they don't believe that, and no one should believe that, but anyway. I also know Christians that don't believe in hell, because hell was actually stuck into Christianity as well. I know a guy that's really cool, fun to play guitar with. I've only hung out with him a couple times, but he's a nice guy, and yeah, he doesn't believe in hell. So anyway, and yeah, he's had sex before marriage. Not having sex before marriage probably doesn't leave you better adjusted at all, psychologically. It definitely doesn't leave you with any more sexual skill. Personally, gonna make a, I was gonna say brave admission, but personally, the first time I had sex wasn't that great. I mean, it was great for me. Don't get me wrong, but but I'm sure overall it wasn't necessarily the most thrilling thing she's been. I was about to say I was about to say the most thrilling thing she's been through. That would be a bit much, but it wouldn't be that bad. It wasn't that bad, but little awkward and stuff, and besides, I think being in a steady relationship and using condoms is best, because yeah, condoms can suck, but use them if you're not in a steady relationship. So anyway, but yeah, it wouldn't have hurt me if I would have had sex any sooner. It wouldn't have affected me negatively. What affects people negatively is when they're raped or when they're molested as children. And people that have healthy sexual experiences, there's so much research on this, have better have a more stable psychology day to day, where you have all these girls being told abstinence, 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 and what happens? Literally, they take it in the butt and they give blowjobs. Literally, that's what some studies have found when you encourage abstinence. Okay, one man and one woman. How fucking arrogant of you. That, again, just your God and your book deciding that. I have gay friends, but I wouldn't need to have gay friends to find that absolutely arrogant. I don't know, no real point in sticking on that topic for too long, because I mean, really, what's more to say? But yeah, that's completely fucking arrogant. And you know, it's statements like that that when you're not a more moderate, modern Christian, it's statements like that that make me immediately pick someone out as being a fucking asshole, probably a fucking retard. Another thing, masturbation is wonderful and good for you. Do you want testicular cancer? I sure as fuck don't. And you know, masturbation actually helps you. Well, for one thing, you learn control, and for another thing, it actually helps you avoid testicular cancer. So clear up those pipes every now and then, or get a fucking girlfriend or a boyfriend, whatever. But so I also wanted to add this. Yeah, you claim that it'll be wonderful when it finally happens. It'll be wonderful, and people ruin it by doing it early.
What is meant to be. And the majority of the people watching this already have had sex, and they're not married. People have sex before they've even graduated. I mean, how sad is that, really?
That's fucking awesome, actually. And that would have been great. And you know what? I don't think necessarily the most early years of your teenage years are the best years for that. But you know, mid-teens and late teens, give me a fucking break. I mean, you know, especially if they're having sex with people their own age. Okay. Again, I already covered why you know bad sexual experiences can leave someone less psychologically well adjusted, and good sexual experiences can actually help you. There's so much science on this. I mean, just fucking Google it. Maybe I'll put some links in too, but it won't be great when you wait till marriage, unless you're one hell of a creative masturbator and you've learned along the way. You can learn a bit of control, and you know, I would also advise all young men to look up the break, which is basically where you pinch at the base like that when you're about to go, and that, yeah, that cuts you off. It slows you down, so that helps. But I'm not an absolute expert, but I'm not ashamed of learning anything, including about sex, and nobody really should be. You know, it's this kind of bullshit where we shame the body that's so popular in Christianity that just leaves people fucked up. And then they have to go to therapists and figure out what's fucking wrong with them in the end. Not like abstinence is always going to fuck someone up, but this intense shaming of your body and of your feelings and everything, that's ridiculous. We all know that if you forcibly have sex with someone, or you have sex with a fucking child, that's obviously monstrous. But to actually go around talking about regular consensual sex between even teens, or you know, between adults, you know, as this horrible thing, and as something that's going to ruin, you know, what could be amazing, give me a fucking break. When you get married and you have your climatic yet anticlimactic honeymoon, then you can fucking talk about sex. Until then, virgin, nobody wants to hear what you have to say.